Hey, what's going on, Trojan family? Ryan Dyrud here with the USC LAFB show. I was at practice yesterday. We talked to Lincoln Riley, so wanted to jump on here and give a quick injury update. As you all know, he doesn't give us too much, but I thought there was enough worth reporting here today. And I have his full interview up from yesterday up here on the USC LAFB YouTube channel. It's also on LAFBnetwork.com. Audio wasn't great. I was in the back of the scrum, and there's a lot of noise going on with, construction, with airplanes, with some of the team doing something behind us. So I know the audio is not great. So I figured I could jump on here and at least relay some of the messaging from that if you did not hear it, or if you just enjoy listening to these vocal cords project to you. Maybe that's what you prefer. I don't know. But no, appreciate you as always. So in the running back room, obviously we know decimated with injuries. I talked about it on the live show yesterday, so I don't need to get into it. But Eli Sanders is done for the year. Wayman Jordan, 4 to 6 weeks, essentially done for the year. Could hopefully make it back for a late push, and if the Trojans make the playoffs. So you're looking at King Miller, who we talked to yesterday. Great young kid. Him and his brother, Kalen. I mean, superstars. Like a lot of and this is no disrespect to any, but these are young men for the first time talking to media, a lot of them. And it's an uncomfortable thing because you have to think, like, when you listen to these young kids talk, a lot of them are kind of worried, right? Like, what do I say? This is going to get taken the wrong way, out of context. Like, is this media person out to get me? Which I don't think any of our media people are, but it's a daunting task, and there's some coaching there, and you can tell there's nerves with some of these kids. And, I think they're coached up a little bit to, like, hey, just, don't give away too much. Don't say too much. Keep it pretty even keel. But the Miller boys were, I mean, just so pure. You could tell they were just so happy to be Trojans. I mean, they bleed cardinaled in gold. You can tell. And just telling their story and I'll have more up on that later. I wanted to keep this more injury related, but just have to say hats off to both Kalen and King, who are rightfully getting their moment right now and some shine, and will eventually both, I think, be scholarship players. I'll say this 2 things real quick. King is a little bigger than, I've seen him at fall camp before, but he is bigger than he looks kind of on TV. Not obviously a big back. I mean, Wayman Jordan's got the bigger size, but King's not like a tiny back. I mean, he's got good muscle on him. He's obviously hit the weight room. He's, as Lincoln Riley said, he has taken Coach True's workout program very seriously. So he is a good size back for collegiate football, which is why I think he's having so much success. Obviously not a huge guy, but a good size back. His brother Kalen is not a very big offensive lineman. When you talk about Big Ten offensive lineman, he is not. I mean, looking at it, I don't have it in front of me, but he's probably standing 5'10", 5'11", maybe. Got to be under 300 pounds just looking at him, standing next to him. But, you can't weigh the heart sometimes. Sometimes the heart outweighs your body mass. And he was truly, and I say this, I know other sites were kind of reporting it and whatever, everyone took that differently, but he was truly competing for that starting guard spot. Now, obviously, Alani Noah won that spot, and rightfully so. The dude has performed extremely well this year. Like, he is, I think, one of the top guards in the Big Ten. But Kalen Miller absolutely was pushing for that spot and had a chance to win it, which could have been 2 walk-on players with him and Killian O'Connor starting for the USC Trojans, and rightfully so. So just want to get that out there. Injuries now. So those 2 guys out. King Miller, Brian Jackson, all indications he'll be good to go. Also, this is the big news from yesterday's practice, is that both freshmen, Harry Dalton and Riley Wormley, will be available, barring any setbacks during the week of practice. So Riley Wormley, we have not seen at all. He's been injured since he basically arrived at USC. I believe he actually was injured before in his senior year at high school. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty confident he was injured actually before arriving. So he's been battling back from injury. Anyway, Dalton had a phenomenal fall camp, phenomenal spring camp. This is a kid that is going to be a star, I think, for this team, is a total package when it comes to the running back position. So when you think of like Wayman Jordan, his style of play, his size, his elusiveness, his vision in between the tackles, like, that's Harry Dalton. Harry Dalton's just a true freshman. So both guys will be available, which I think is huge. I mean, I don't expect either of them to be leaned on or play, but, depending how this game goes, and, knock on wood, we're not saying B-Jacks or Miller's going to get injured. But, if they need to have a rep off or whatever, or hopefully Lincoln Riley wants to continue running these 2-back sets like we've seen sometimes. And then if you need to spell one of them, one of those guys can come in. So I think that's big news, really big news. So for those that don't know, I'll just give you a quick kind of recap of who these guys are. So both, like I said, freshmen, 2025 class. Riley Wormley was a 3-star kid out of Texas. So lower ranking, obviously, but a very talented kid. He's you can tell how they're recruiting, right? They're recruiting certain styles to complement each other. Because you look at Wayman Jordan, Eli Sanders. It's a compliment, right? Size, elusiveness versus breakaway speed. You look at, and this obviously worked out differently because he's a walk-on, but you look at King Miller and Brian Jackson, complement each other. King Miller can kind of do a little bit of everything. Brian Jackson, I think, can do everything, but he's your bigger body, thunder and lightning. You look at Harry Dalton, Riley Wormley. Wormley, 5'9.5". He's probably up to like 185 now. He was 170 when recruited. I'm sure he's bigger now, but a little quicker guy, smaller body. Harry Dalton, 5'11", 205. I bet he's 215 now. I mean, you see him at practice. The dude's a brick. So Wormley's out of Texas. Again, more of your speed back, kind of change of pace. Harry Dalton out of Virginia, East Coast guy. And he's your 3-down back, truly big body. I mean, really, really similar to Wayman Jordan. So he was I believe, 32nd ranked running back. This is Dalton in the 2025 class. And he was the guy in this class when talking to people that they were most excited, maybe I don't know if that's the correct word, but there was one back that ended up flipping towards the end of the cycle. I can't remember his name. I think he flipped at Tennessee. He was an East Coast kid also. Drawing a blank of the name right now. But they had 3 backs and he ended up flipping to Tennessee. And everyone I talked to was, you don't want to see guys flip, but their guy of the running backs was Harry Dalton. So they were like, as long as we hang on to Dalton, like we feel good. Obviously they love Wormley also, but Dalton was the guy that they saw as kind of like that future 3-down guy potentially. And through fall camp, he lived up to it. I mean, he was killing it in fall camp. So will we see him in South Bend? I would hope not. He's a true freshman, work him into it. But similar to Alex Graham last week, maybe we'll see 2-3 reps out of him as he just kind of gets back to full health. So great news there. There'll be 4 backs deep at least, which is going to be necessary in this Notre Dame game. That is going to be a punishing physical game. So King Miller's your feature back. Brian Jackson's going to get a lot more reps in this one. And then you have Dalton and Wormley will be dressed, again, barring any setbacks. On the negative news, I guess you could say, true freshman Floyd Boucard. We saw him in like a knee brace at practice. Obviously, he went down at Michigan, had to get helped off the field. He will be out at least a couple weeks, Coach Riley said. They'll reassess him after the bye week, but he will for sure miss the Notre Dame game. So he will be out at Notre Dame. And, I would say a sliver of a chance back for Nebraska, but just reading between the lines, this feels like a, 3 to 4 week, probably we're looking at the end of the season type of injury. So didn't say he's out for the year. So unless things progress worsely, we should hopefully see him back. But certainly we'll miss this big Notre Dame game. So that is a very unfortunate, as Boucard, I talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on the call-in show. He's been one of the bright spots of this freshman class and a 3-star guy. It didn't get a lot of shine prior to the season starting and has seized some reps. I mean, remember against Purdue had like 15 reps and 6 pressures, almost half as many pressures as reps, like insane. So big loss, but obviously they do have depth at the defensive line. So they need to turn to more of the veteran guys and maybe one of the another freshman, or Carlin Jones ended up getting 5 snaps last week in that Michigan game, redshirt freshman out of Texas. So he's a guy to look for to potentially maybe get some more reps in this one, as he was my sleeper defenseman going into the year. Guy that just, kind of everyone forgot about. He was a 4-star high prospect in the 24 class. It didn't play at all previous year. So look for him. Maybe we'll see some Carlin Jones out there a little bit more. I think that's really it. Elijah Page, no real update, still progressing. So we'll see more later in the week. Alex Graham came out of that game. He had eight total snaps. As I was alluding to, Lincoln Riley said we didn't want to throw him out there for 30 snaps. We're going to ease him into it. One, because he's coming back from injury, but two, because he's a true freshman. You don't want to just throw him in the fire right off the bat. So, but he came out fully clean, feeling great. So they'll keep upping his workload as this season goes on. So maybe we'll see him 12 to 14 snaps against Notre Dame, seeing how the flow of the game goes. So anyway, there you have it. Those are the updates from Tuesday. I'll be back at practice tonight. Wednesday, we'll talk to Coach Danton Lynn and some defensive players. So any important updates you can find on our message board. Go to LAFBnetwork.com. Link is in the description below. You can go to our USC message board. Please check that out. Sign up for it. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. I know a lot of the other message boards, which are fantastic, but you pay a subscription fee. This is totally free. Trying to build it up. And it's just a really easy way for me to just put information there really quickly for you to check out. We'll have other info up at LAFBnetwork.com, also in article form, or you can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Dyrud, LAFB. Tonight, Wednesday, also our call-in show, Madman and Tim, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Check that out right here on the USC LAFB channel. So I'll be at practice, so I won't be on, but you have Madman and Tim taking your calls. So make sure to call in. It's a show driven by you. And I'll be back as well tomorrow, noon Pacific time, live, kind of breaking down any new information that comes out and previewing this Notre Dame game. So thank you, family. As always, everyone have a blessed day. As always, fight on.